Chapter 1 Gateway to the Cosmos, Unveiling the Planetary Parade. Imagine you're standing on a quiet hill. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, and the sky turns a deep indigo. Suddenly, one by one, bright points appear, not just stars, but planets of our solar system, lined up in a perfect row, like magic. This isn't fantasy, it's the reality of February 2026, the Great Planetary Parade. 6 worlds, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, all gathering in one sector of the sky, visible to the naked eye or with a simple binocular. Why is this happening right now? What does it mean for us Earthlings? And how can this spectacle change your view of the universe? In this video, we'll embark on a relaxing journey through space, from scientific mysteries to meditative reflections. If you love astronomy but prefer calm evenings under the stars over complex formulas, this is for you. Subscribe so you don't miss updates on celestial wonders, and let's begin. Are you ready to see the planets dance in harmony? Dear friends, welcome to the first chapter of our cosmic journey. Today, we're talking about the Planetary Parade, one of the most mesmerizing phenomena in the night sky. But before diving into the details of February 2026, let's understand what it is. A planetary parade isn't a random coincidence. It's the result of cosmic geometry, where several planets align from an observer's viewpoint on Earth. It's like watching a clock face where the hands sometimes overlap, but on a scale of billions of kilometers. Picture the solar system as a vast disk where all planets orbit the sun along their elliptical paths. Earth is just one of them, the third in line. When we gaze at the sky, planets appear as points on a sphere surrounding us, but sometimes their positions align so they show up in the same sky sector, close together. That's the parade. In February 2026, we'll see an especially impressive one. 6 planets, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, lining up after sunset. It's not a full parade of all 8 planets. Mars and Earth, of course, don't join the lineup from our perspective, but one of the brightest in recent years. Why does this capture attention? First, rarity. Such events don't happen every month. The last similar event was in 2024, but February 2026 will be even more accessible for viewing in the Northern Hemisphere. Second, aesthetics. Imagine bright Venus like the evening star leading the procession, followed by giant Jupiter, then Saturn's rings, and even distant Uranus and Neptune visible through binoculars. This sight has inspired astronomers, artists, and dreamers for centuries.
Let's talk about the science behind it. Planetary orbits are tilted relative to the ecliptic, the plane of Earth's orbit. But since the tilts are small, less than 7 degrees for most, planets always seem close to the ecliptic line in the sky. When their longitudes align within 30 to 40 degrees, we see a parade. In February 2026, the peak falls on the 28th. After sunset, looking west-southwest, you'll see this chain. Mercury will be low on the horizon, Venus the brightest, Saturn dimmer but visible, Jupiter the king of the sky, and Uranus and Neptune will require optics.
Now, to make this relaxing, let's imagine a meditation. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply. Inhale and feel the cool night air. Exhale and the cosmos unfolds before you. Each planet is like a pearl on a string. Mercury, closest to the Sun, symbolizes speed and change. Venus, love and beauty. Saturn, wisdom and boundaries. Jupiter, expansion and luck. Uranus, innovation. Neptune, dreams. This parade reminds us of harmony in the universe's chaos. But back to facts. Astronomers use terms like conjunction for 2 planets and great conjunction for several. In 2026, it's not the tightest conjunction, like in 2020 with Jupiter and Saturn, but the most extensive by participant count. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration has already released guides. Watch 30 to 60 minutes after sunset in clear weather away from city lights. If you're in a place like many of our viewers, find an open spot such as a national park where light pollution is minimal. Why February? Because Earth at this time of year views the outer planets at a convenient angle. Mercury's orbit is short, 88 days, so it moves quickly, creating a window for the parade. Venus, with a 225-day orbit, is often the evening star. Saturn and Jupiter, gas giants with 29 and 12-year periods, shift slowly, but in 2026 they align perfectly. Let's delve into history. The first mentions of planetary parades are in ancient texts. Babylonians observed them 3,000 years ago, predicting events through astrology. Greeks like Ptolemy built models. In the Middle Ages, Al-Biruni described conjunctions. And in modern times, in 2000, there was a 5-planet parade that inspired movies and books. 2026 continues this tradition. For relaxation, think about how the parade ties to the zodiac. The ecliptic passes through constellations, and in February, the planets will be in Pisces and Aries. This isn't astrology, but astronomy, yet it adds poetry. Imagine you're lying on the grass, binoculars in hand, and the planets whisper stories of the solar system's birth 4,600,000,000 years ago. Now, about the practical side. To see the parade, preparation is key. Download apps like Stellarium or Sky Safari. They'll show exact positions. In February 2026, the sun sets around 5 in the afternoon in many places, so watch from 5:30. Mercury visible only 10 to 15 minutes, so don't be late. Venus -4.6, brighter than Sirius. Jupiter -2, Saturn +0.8, Uranus and Neptune +5.8 and +7.8. Binoculars are essential. Why is this important to us? In an era of stress, the planetary parade is a reminder of something greater. It shows we're part of a vast system where everything connects. Studies show stargazing lowers cortisol and improves sleep. So this isn't just a video, it's an invitation to meditate under the open sky. Let's continue reflections. What if the parade affects Earth? Scientifically, no, gravity is negligible. But culturally, yes, it inspires art. Artists like Van Gogh painted stars, and now digital renders from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Welcome back, stargazers, to the second chapter of our serene exploration. As we build on the foundation we laid earlier, let's delve deeper into the intricate dance of the planets, the celestial mechanics that make a planetary parade possible. Picture the vast expanse of space not as a chaotic void, but as a grand orchestra where each planet plays its part in perfect timing, guided by the invisible hands of gravity and motion. In this chapter, we'll uncover the scientific principles behind these alignments, explained in a calm, unhurried manner, allowing you to absorb the wonders of the universe at your own pace. At the heart of any planetary parade lies Newton's law of universal gravitation, the force that keeps everything in orbit. Every planet, from tiny Mercury to massive Jupiter, is bound to the Sun by this gravitational pull, tracing elliptical paths as described by Johannes Kepler in the early 17th century. Kepler's laws tell us that planets move faster when closer to the Sun and slower when farther away, creating the varying speeds that occasionally bring them into visual alignment from our vantage point on Earth. In February 2026, this alignment peaks due to a fortuitous synchronization. Mercury, with its swift 88-day orbit, laps the Sun quickly, positioning itself low in the evening sky. Venus, orbiting every 225 days, emerges as the brilliant evening star, visible for hours after sunset. Saturn, taking 29 years for a full circuit, has been slowly drifting through the constellations, now aligning with the faster movers. Jupiter, at 12 years per orbit, adds its regal brightness, while Uranus and Neptune, with 84 and 165-year periods respectively, provide the distant backdrop, their slow motions making such gatherings rare.
To visualize this, imagine a clock where the Sun is at the center. Earth is the observer at, say, the 6 o'clock position in February. The inner planets like Mercury and Venus are on the evening side, appearing west of the Sun from our view. The outer ones, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, are on the opposite side, rising in the east but visible in the west after sunset due to Earth's rotation. This configuration creates a morning parade for some, but in 2026, it's predominantly an evening spectacle, starting just after dusk. Let's pause for a meditative breath here. Inhale slowly, feeling the Earth's gentle spin beneath you. Exhale and envision the planets as ancient wanderers, their paths etched in the fabric of space-time. Albert Einstein's general relativity refines our understanding, showing how massive bodies like the Sun warp space, causing planets to follow curved geodesics rather than straight lines. But for our purposes, the Newtonian model suffices, simple, elegant, and profoundly relaxing in its predictability. Diving further, orbital resonances play a subtle role. For instance, Jupiter's gravity influences the outer planets, creating long-term patterns. Though not directly causing this parade, these resonances ensure the solar system's stability over eons. Computer simulations from institutions like the National Aeronautics and Space Administration predict these events years in advance, using precise ephemerids, tables of planetary positions calculated with high accuracy. In 2026, the alignment spans about 180 degrees across the sky, but the visible chain after sunset will be compacted into the western horizon. Mercury hugs the horizon for only 10 to 15 minutes, its magnitude around 0.5, making it a challenge in twilight. Venus shines at -4.6, outshining everything except the moon. Saturn at +0.8 requires darker skies, while Jupiter at -2.3 dominates. Uranus at 5.9 and Neptune at 7.9 fade into the background without aid, but binoculars reveal their pale blue hues. Why do alignments like this evoke such awe? Scientifically, they remind us of the Copernican revolution, shifting from an Earth-centered view to a heliocentric one. Nicolaus Copernicus in the 16th century proposed the sun at the center, and Galileo Galilei's telescope observations confirmed planetary motions. These parades are living proof of that model, visible without instruments for the inner planets. For relaxation, let's reflect on the scale. The distance from Mercury to Neptune averages about 5 billion kilometers during alignment, yet from Earth they appear mere degrees apart. This perspective illusion, called parallax on a cosmic scale, humbles us, showing how our viewpoint shapes reality. Close your eyes again. Breathe in the vastness. Breathe out any daily worries. The planet's steady orbits mirror the rhythm of life, cyclical, enduring, harmonious. Historically, mechanics of alignments fascinated early astronomers. Tycho Brahe in the late 16th century recorded precise positions, enabling Kepler's laws. Today, space probes like Voyager and New Horizons have flown past these planets, sending back data that refines our models. For February 2026, apps using this data will guide you precisely. Practically, understanding mechanics helps in observation. The sun sets and atmospheric refraction bends light, making low planets like Mercury appear higher. Light pollution scatters city glow, so seek dark sites, perhaps a rural hill or desert plain. Magnitude scales measure brightness. Negative numbers are brighter, dimmer. Venus's phase, like a crescent moon, adds detail through telescopes. What about tidal effects or doomsday myths? Gravity from aligned planets is minuscule compared to the moon's, less than 1/1,000,000th the pull. No earthquakes or floods result. It's pure coincidence if events align temporally. In cultural mechanics, alignments influenced calendars. Mayans tracked Venus cycles for agriculture. Today, they inspire space missions. 2026 coincides with ongoing explorations like the Europa Clipper launching toward Jupiter. Welcome back, cosmic wanderers, to the third chapter of our tranquil voyage through the stars. Building on the mechanics we've explored, let's now turn our gaze to the rich tapestry of history, where planetary parades have captivated humanity for millennia. In this chapter, we'll journey through time, uncovering how these celestial alignments have shaped cultures, sparked discoveries, and inspired legends, all delivered in a soothing narrative to let your mind drift like a comet through the void. Sit back, relax, and let the stories of the past wash over you. Humanity's fascination with the night sky predates written records, but planetary parades emerge vividly in ancient civilizations. Around 3,000 years before the Common Era, the Babylonians, masters of the Euphrates Valley, meticulously tracked the heavens using clay tablets. They noted conjunctions of planets like Jupiter and Saturn, interpreting them as omens from gods such as Marduk. These alignments weren't just astronomical events, they influenced royal decisions, from wars to harvests. Imagine ancient priests on ziggurat rooftops charting the slow dance of bright wanderers, planets they called Bibu, or wild sheep, for their erratic paths against fixed stars. Fast forward to ancient Egypt, where the Nile's rhythm synced with the cosmos. Around 2,500 years before the Common Era, pharaohs aligned pyramids with celestial events. Venus, the morning and evening star, featured prominently in parades involving Mercury and the moon. The Egyptians associated Venus with Isis, goddess of magic, and saw alignments as portents of fertility or flood. Historical texts like the pyramid texts describe the gods assembling in the sky, a poetic nod to what we now call parades. This blend of astronomy and mythology created calendars that endure today. In ancient China, during the Zhou dynasty, around 1,000 years before the Common Era, imperial astronomers recorded guest stars and planetary gatherings. The Silk Road Chronicles mention a 5-planet alignment in 610 before the Common Era, viewed as a mandate from heaven for the emperor. Chinese scholars like Zhang Heng in the 2nd century Common Era invented armillary spheres to model these motions, predicting parades with remarkable accuracy for their time. These events influenced philosophy, with Confucians seeing harmony in the heavens mirroring earthly order, a theme that resonates in our relaxing contemplation today. The Greeks elevated observation to science. In the 4th century before the Common Era, Aristotle pondered planetary motions, though his geocentric model placed Earth at the center. But it was Claudius Ptolemy in the 2nd century Common Era who compiled the Almagest, detailing epicycles to explain retrograde motion during alignments. A notable parade in 141 Common Era involved all visible planets, inspiring Ptolemy's refinements. Hippocrates, the physician, even linked celestial events to health, suggesting parades could influence humors, an early pseudoscience, but one that highlights humanity's urge to connect sky and self. Pause here for a gentle reflection. Breathe in deeply, imagining yourself as an ancient observer, wrapped in a cloak under a pristine sky unmarred by lights. Exhale, releasing modern distractions. These historical parades remind us that wonder is timeless. The same alignments that puzzled our ancestors now offer us peace in their predictability. Moving to the Islamic Golden Age, scholars in Baghdad and Cordoba advanced knowledge. Al-Battani in the 9th century refined Ptolemy's models, calculating planetary positions with errors of mere minutes. His work on conjunctions influenced later Europeans. A grand parade in 899 Common Era involving Mercury through Saturn was documented in Arabic texts, linking it to astrological forecasts. Ibn Yunus in the 10th century observed from Cairo, contributing to tables that predicted future alignments, including patterns echoing our 2026 event. The Renaissance reignited European interest. In 1492, Christopher Columbus noted a lunar eclipse, but planetary parades fueled exploration spirit. Nicolaus Copernicus, in his 1543 work on the revolutions of the celestial spheres, used historical alignments to argue for heliocentrism. A 5-planet parade in 1520 inspired his calculations, shifting paradigms from Earth-centered to Sun-centered views. This intellectual parade mirrored the celestial one, aligning minds toward truth. Tycho Brahe, in the late 16th century, observed without telescopes, recording a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in 1563 with unprecedented precision. His data enabled Kepler to formulate elliptical orbits in the early 17th century. Kepler himself witnessed a great conjunction in 1600, interpreting it mystically in his Harmonices Mundi, where he saw music in planetary motions, a harmonious idea perfect for our relaxing theme. The telescope era dawned with Galileo Galilei. In 1610, he discovered Jupiter's moons during an alignment, proving planets had satellites like Earth. A parade in 1623 involving Venus and Jupiter allowed him to demonstrate phases supporting Copernicus. These observations, shared in letters, sparked debates and the scientific revolution. In the 18th century, Edmund Halley predicted comets but also charted planetary paths. A rare alignment in 1724 aided navigation, influencing voyages like James Cook's. The 19th century saw photography capture parades. An 1858 event was imaged crudely, preserving the spectacle. The 20th century brought space-age insights. A 5-planet parade in 1962 coincided with early space probes like Mariner. In 1982, alignment visible worldwide inspired public stargazing events. In 2000, a tight grouping of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn drew millions to observatories, blending science with spectacle. Culturally, parades permeated art and lore. In mythology, the Greek titan Cronus, Saturn, devoured children, symbolizing time's cycles in alignments. Shakespeare's The Tempest allusions to celestial harmony. Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night captures swirling skies, perhaps inspired by 1900 alignments. Modern films like 2001: A Space Odyssey use monoliths aligning with planets for dramatic effect. For meditation, close your eyes, envision historical figures gazing upward. Inhale their curiosity, exhale your own. These echoes connect us across time, showing parades as threads in humanity's story. Practically, historical data informs today's predictions. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration's ephemerides draw from centuries of observations. For February 2026, apps reference these legacies, allowing you to stand where ancients did. Do alignments hold astrological weight historically? Many cultures thought so. Babylonians saw omens, Romans auspices. But science debunks causal links. They're correlative at best. In 2024, a similar parade echoed 1982's building anticipation for 2026. As we conclude this chapter, these historical echoes enrich our appreciation. In the next, we'll guide you on observing the upcoming parade. Chapter 4. Your guide to witnessing the spectacle. Observing tips and tricks. Welcome back, fellow sky enthusiasts, to the fourth chapter of our peaceful odyssey among the stars. Having journeyed through the mechanics and historical echoes of planetary parades, it's time to bring the wonder home, literally to your own backyard or balcony. In this chapter, we'll equip you with practical, step-by-step guidance to observe the February 2026 parade, tailored for beginners and seasoned stargazers alike. Delivered in a calm, reassuring tone, these tips will help you connect with the cosmos without overwhelm, turning a celestial event into a personal, meditative experience. Relax, breathe easy, and let's prepare to greet the planets. First, timing is everything in this cosmic ballet. The peak of the parade occurs on February 28, 2026, but the alignment builds throughout the month, offering previews from mid-February onward. For the best view, aim for 30 to 60 minutes after sunset, when the sky darkens enough to reveal the fainter planets, but twilight still silhouettes the horizon. In many northern hemisphere locations, like the American Midwest or East Coast, sunset falls around 5:30 in the evening during late February. Check local times via apps or weather sites for precision. Remember, the window for spotting Mercury is brief, only 10 to 15 minutes before it dips below the horizon, so arrive early and settle in comfortably. Location matters deeply for an unobstructed view. Seek out spots with a clear western to southwestern horizon, free from tall buildings, trees, or mountains that could block the low-lying planets. Urban dwellers might head to rooftops, parks, or beaches. Rural folks have the advantage of darker skies. If light pollution is an issue, and it often is in cities, drive to a designated dark sky site, such as those certified by the International Dark Sky Association. For example, in the United States, places like Joshua Tree National Park in California or the Black Hills in South Dakota offer pristine conditions. Even a simple hilltop or open field can suffice. Pro tip: use online maps to scout locations in advance, ensuring minimal interference from streetlights or haze. Now, about equipment. Keep it simple to maintain the relaxing vibe. You don't need a high-powered telescope for this event. In fact, the naked eye reveals the core spectacle of Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn shining brightly. For Mercury's elusive glow and the dimmer Uranus and Neptune, a pair of binoculars, 7x50 or 10x50 magnification, works wonders, stabilizing your view without complexity. If you own a telescope, a wide-field eyepiece helps capture the chain in one frame. Apps like Stellarium, Sky Safari, or the free NASA Skyview enhance the experience by overlaying planet labels on your phone's camera in real-time augmented reality mode. Download them beforehand, input your location, and simulate the view to familiarize yourself. Let's walk through the observation process gently. Start by arriving at your spot 15 minutes before sunset. Find a comfortable position, perhaps seated on a blanket or camp chair with a warm drink in hand to ward off the February chill. As the sun sets, scan the western horizon for Venus first. Its brilliance at magnitude -4.6 makes it unmistakable, often called the evening star. Once spotted, trace upward and slightly south. Jupiter appears next at -2.3, a steady beacon. Saturn follows at +0.8, its rings visible through binoculars as a subtle elongation. Mercury hugs the horizon at around magnitude 0.5, look low and quick. For Uranus at 5.9 and Neptune at 7.9, swing your binoculars higher along the ecliptic. Their teal and blue tints distinguish them from stars.
To enhance relaxation, incorporate mindfulness. As you gaze, take deep breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Let each planet anchor a thought. Mercury for swift ideas, Venus for inner peace, Saturn for grounded wisdom. The alignment spans about 30 degrees across the sky, roughly 3 fist widths at arm's length, making it easy to encompass. If clouds intervene, don't fret. The parade lingers for days around the peak, so try again the next clear evening. Weather plays a pivotal role, so monitor forecasts for clear skies and low humidity, conditions that sharpen visibility. In 2026, February's typical patterns suggest variable weather, but apps like Clear Outside or Astrospheric provide astronomy-specific predictions, including seeing conditions and transparency ratings. Dress in layers. Temperatures can drop quickly after sunset, and comfort ensures you stay engaged longer. For families or groups, turn it into a shared ritual. Share binoculars. Point out constellations like Pisces hosting the outer planets or Aries framing the inner ones. Narrate softly. See how Venus leads like a herald, with Jupiter as the king? This fosters connection without noise. If alone, pair the view with ambient sounds, perhaps a playlist of cosmic music or nature recordings to deepen immersion. Advanced observers might log the event. Note positions, magnitudes, and any atmospheric effects like twinkling, which indicates turbulence. Photography adds another layer. Use a smartphone with night mode or a DSLR on a tripod, exposing for 10 to 30 seconds at ISO 800 to capture the chain against stars. Apps like Nightcap or manual settings help avoid overexposure from Venus. Share your shots on social media with hashtags like Planetary Parade 2026 to join a global community. Safety first. Never look directly at the sun during twilight. Wait until it's fully set. If driving to a remote site, inform someone of your plans and carry essentials like water, a flashlight with red light to preserve night vision, and a first aid kit. Why observe at all? Beyond science, it's therapeutic. Studies from institutions like the American Psychological Association link stargazing to reduced anxiety and increased awe, that profound sense of something larger. In our fast-paced world, pausing for a parade reconnects us to natural rhythms, fostering gratitude and perspective. Let's meditate briefly. Close your eyes. Recall a past starry night. Inhale the anticipation. Exhale doubts. Open your eyes to the present sky. Imagine the planets as old friends gathering. Common pitfalls to avoid. Don't expect a straight line like beads on a string. The alignment is visual, curved along the ecliptic. Pollution or moonlight.
February's waxing gibbous moon rises later, so early evenings are prime, can wash out fainter objects. If Neptune eludes you, celebrate what you see. Partial views still inspire. For urban Americans, events at planetariums like the Adler in Chicago or Griffith in Los Angeles often host guided viewings around February 28th. Online live streams from observatories provide backups if weather fails. In 2026, this parade coincides with other sky highlights. The Pleiades cluster nearby adds sparkle, and comet sightings might overlap. Track updates from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration for real-time adjustments.
Chapter 5. Unveiling Cosmic Insights, Scientific Discoveries Linked to Alignments. Welcome back, astronomy aficionados, to the 5th chapter of our soothing celestial sojourn. With the practical tools for observation now in your toolkit, let's shift our focus to the profound scientific revelations that planetary parades have unlocked over the years. These alignments aren't mere visual treats, they've served as natural laboratories, catalyzing breakthroughs in our understanding of the solar system and beyond. In this chapter, we'll explore these discoveries in a measured, contemplative pace, allowing the grandeur of science to unfold like a starry veil lifting. Relax your mind, let curiosity flow, and join me as we connect the dots between heavenly lineups and earthly knowledge. Planetary alignments have long provided unique opportunities for probing gravitational dynamics. During close conjunctions, scientists measure subtle perturbations in orbits, refining models of celestial mechanics. For instance, the Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 2020 allowed astronomers using ground-based telescopes and space observatories to study how their massive gravities interact, confirming predictions from general relativity with greater precision. These events reveal tidal forces at play. Jupiter's pull on Saturn's rings causes slight distortions, observable during alignments when the planets appear closest from Earth. In February 2026, the inclusion of Uranus and Neptune in the parade will offer a rare chance to monitor outer planet interactions, potentially shedding light on atmospheric changes induced by gravitational tugs. One landmark discovery tied to parades is the validation of planetary migration theories. Early in the solar system's history, about 4 billion years ago, gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn likely shifted orbits during a period called the Late Heavy Bombardment. Alignments help simulate these ancient dances. Computer models run by institutions such as the National Aeronautics and Space Administration use current parades to backtrack evolutionary paths. A notable example, the 2000 alignment of inner planets aided simulations showing how Venus's retrograde rotation might stem from a chaotic alignment billions of years past, where gravitational slingshots altered spins and tilts. Alignments also enhance exoplanet hunts. When planets line up, their combined light signatures can mimic those of distant worlds transiting stars. The Kepler Space Telescope, launched in 2009, capitalized on this by observing Earth-like alignments in other systems. In 2026, similar configurations will calibrate instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope, launched in 2021, to better detect biosignatures on exoplanets. Imagine,
As Mercury, Venus, and others align, we're reminded that such events elsewhere could signal habitable zones where life might thrive under alien suns. Let's pause for a serene interlude. Breathe deeply, envisioning the solar system as a living entity, its alignments like heartbeats pulsing knowledge. Inhale the mystery of distant worlds. Exhale any sense of isolation. Science here bridges the gap, turning parades into portals of discovery. Delving deeper, alignments facilitate studies of solar wind and magnetospheres. When planets queue up, the sun's plasma stream interacts differently with each world's magnetic field. Voyager probes in the 1970s and 80s flew during opportune alignments, capturing data on how Jupiter's magnetosphere shields its moons from radiation. In 2026, with Saturn and Jupiter in the mix, ongoing missions like Juno, orbiting Jupiter since 2016, will gather real-time data on auroral activity spiked by alignment-induced solar wind compressions. This could explain phenomena like Saturn's hexagonal storm, a vortex at its north pole, potentially influenced by gravitational resonances during such events. Another breakthrough? Comet and asteroid dynamics. Alignments can perturb small bodies, hurling them inward. The 1986 parade coincided with Halley's Comet's approach, allowing detailed observations of its tail deflection by solar gravity amplified through planetary poles. For 2026, astronomers anticipate enhanced visibility of meteor showers, as aligned planets might shepherd dust trails from comets like Swift-Tuttle. This aids in mapping the Kuiper Belt, the icy realm beyond Neptune, where alignments reveal orbital resonances locking objects in place.
Space weather forecasting owes much to parade studies. Alignments can amplify coronal mass ejections, solar flares impacting Earth. The Carrington event of 1859, a massive solar storm, occurred near a planetary grouping, causing telegraph disruptions. Modern monitoring during 2012's alignment improved predictions, protecting satellites. In February 2026, with 6 planets involved, agencies like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration will test models for geomagnetic storms, safeguarding power grids and communications, vital in our tech-dependent era. Historically, alignments spurred instrument innovations. Galileo's 1710 observations during a parade led to better telescopes. Today, adaptive optics, mirrors adjusting for atmospheric distortion, were refined using bright, aligned planets as reference points. The Very Large Telescope in Chile used the 2020 conjunction to calibrate, enabling sharper images of distant galaxies. For planetary atmospheres, parades offer comparative views. Venus and Mercury, often aligned, allow side-by-side studies of their hellish surfaces. The Messenger probe, ending in 2015, used alignments for gravity assists, revealing Mercury's unexpected ice caps. Bepi Colombo, en route since 2018, will leverage 2026's setup for final approaches, analyzing Venus's cloud chemistry en passant. Exobiology benefits too. Alignments simulate conditions for life detection. Europa, Jupiter's moon, harbors subsurface oceans. During parades, enhanced tidal heating from aligned poles could churn these waters, ejecting plumes detectable by the Europa Clipper mission, set to arrive in 2030.
This ties to astrobiology, where alignments model habitable scenarios on exomoons. Meditate on this. Close your eyes. Feel the gravitational web connecting all. Inhale discovery's thrill. Exhale ignorance's weight. These insights humanize the cosmos, making it accessible. Practically, citizen science thrives on parades. Apps like Globe at Night encourage magnitude estimates during alignments, mapping light pollution. In 2026, contribute data to projects tracking atmospheric refraction effects on low planets like Mercury. Myths debunked through science. Alignments don't cause earthquakes. Tidal forces are negligible compared to the moon's. Studies post-1980 parade confirmed no seismic spikes. In culture, discoveries inspire. Arthur C. Clarke's novels wove alignment science into fiction, blending fact with wonder. As we close this chapter, these insights illuminate why parades matter beyond beauty. In the next, we'll ponder cultural and philosophical impacts. If enlightened, thumbs up and comment which discovery intrigues you most. Welcome back, thoughtful explorers, to the 6th chapter of our gentle expedition across the cosmos. As we've uncovered the science and history behind planetary parades and prepared to witness the February 2026 spectacle ourselves, let's now turn inward to the profound ways these alignments touch our human spirit. In this chapter, we'll weave through the cultural tapestries and philosophical musings inspired by such events, presented in a serene flow that invites introspection. Allow the words to settle like stardust, fostering a deeper connection to the universe and our place within it. Breathe calmly, open your heart to wonder, and let's reflect together on the meanings beyond the mechanics. From time immemorial, planetary parades have transcended mere astronomy, embedding themselves in the myths and rituals of diverse cultures. In ancient Mesopotamia, alignments were seen as divine assemblies where gods like Anu and Enlil convened to decree fates. Babylonian epics, etched on cuneiform tablets, portray conjunctions as cosmic councils influencing earthly affairs, births, battles, and bounties. This worldview fostered a sense of interconnectedness where the heavens mirrored human society, a theme echoed in modern ecology's view of Earth as part of a larger system. Imagine early storytellers around fires, pointing to aligned lights and spinning tales that bound communities in shared awe. In Mesoamerica, the Maya and Aztecs elevated parades to calendrical cornerstones. The long count calendar, spanning millennia, tracked Venus-Jupiter alignments to mark era endings and renewals. For the Maya, a 5-planet parade signaled the hero twins' journey through the underworld, symbolizing resurrection and cycles of life. Aztec codices depict Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, embodying Venus in alignments, guiding agricultural cycles and sacrifices. These cultural lenses transformed cold celestial mechanics into vibrant narratives, reminding us that science and story coexist, enriching our understanding with emotional depth. Across the Pacific, Polynesian navigators used star paths, including planetary lineups, for voyaging. Alignments served as wayfinding markers, with Venus leading parades as a beacon for canoe journeys between islands. Oral traditions in Hawaii and Samoa personify planets as ancestors, Maui snaring the sun, akin to gravitational pulls in alignments. This practical philosophy underscores resilience and harmony with nature, lessons pertinent today as we navigate climate challenges. In 2026, as Americans of diverse heritages gaze westward, these indigenous insights invite us to honor the sky as a shared heritage, fostering cultural respect. European folklore wove alignments into alchemy and mysticism. Medieval grimoires linked Mercury-Venus parades to elixir recipes, symbolizing elemental unions. Renaissance humanists like Marsilio Ficino viewed conjunctions as Platonic ideals, where planetary souls aligned to elevate human consciousness. Shakespeare's plays subtly nod to this. In Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed lovers echo astrological alignments, blending fate with free will. Philosophically, this raises questions. Do parades dictate destiny, or do they merely reflect our projections? Immanuel Kant in the 18th century pondered the sublime in starry nights, arguing alignments evoke awe that humbles ego, sparking moral reflection. Let's interlude with a peaceful meditation. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if safe. Inhale slowly, drawing in the vastness of cultural histories. Exhale, releasing personal boundaries. Visualize the February parade as a bridge across eras, ancient eyes meeting yours in shared wonder. Feel the unity, each planet a chapter in humanity's collective story. Open your eyes refreshed, carrying this interconnectedness. In Asia, Indian Vedic traditions integrate alignments into Jyotisha, or light science. Parades of grahas, or planets, influence muhurta, auspicious timings for rituals. A six-planet alignment mirrors the chakras alignment in yoga, symbolizing spiritual ascension. Chinese Taoism sees harmony in yin and yang balances during conjunctions, with Jupiter-Saturn parades embodying imperial cycles. Confucian texts use celestial order to advocate societal ethics, a philosophy that resonates in contemporary mindfulness practices, where stargazing alignments promote inner peace amid chaos. African cosmologies, from the Dogon of Mali to Zulu sky lore, view parades as ancestral gatherings. The Dogon, with advanced knowledge of Sirius, interpret multi-planet lineups as Sirius B's companions aligning, symbolizing knowledge transmission. Zulu myths personify Venus as the morning star, heralding rain, with parades foretelling communal prosperity. These Oro philosophies emphasize community over individualism, a counterpoint to Western views, encouraging us to see 2026's event as a global communion. Modern culture amplifies these echoes through media and art. Hollywood films like Interstellar use gravitational alignments for wormhole plots, blending science with existential quests. Music, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata evokes lunar-influenced parades, while modern ambient tracks by Brian Eno simulate cosmic harmonies. Literature, from H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds to Ursula Le Guin's sci-fi, employs alignments as metaphors for unity or invasion, probing human nature. Philosophically, alignments challenge materialism. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre might see them as absurd coincidences, highlighting freedom in an indifferent universe. Conversely, phenomenologists like Maurice Merleau-Ponty view the perceived lineup as embodied experience, where body and cosmos intertwine. In environmental philosophy, alignments underscore Gaia theory, James Lovelock's idea of Earth as self-regulating, with solar system alignments as rhythmic pulses sustaining life. Spiritually, many find solace in alignment's rarity. New Age thinkers interpret them as ascension portals, aligning personal energies with cosmic ones. Abrahamic faiths see divine order. Psalms describe heavens declaring God's glory, parades as symphonies of creation. Buddhism's impermanence is mirrored in transient lineups, teaching detachment. These perspectives invite personal philosophy. What does the 2026 parade mean to you? A reminder of mortality or infinite possibility? Culturally, parades drive public engagement. The 2000 alignment sparked millennium celebrations, blending Y2K fears with awe. Today, social media hashtags unite viewers worldwide, democratizing astronomy. In education, they inspire STEM curricula, showing science's accessibility. Art installations like Olafur Eliasson's sky simulations recreate alignments for immersive reflection. For relaxation, consider journaling post-observation. How did the parade shift your worldview? Studies in positive psychology link such awe experiences to increased well-being, reducing stress through perspective shifts. Ethically, alignments prompt stewardship. As we pollute skies with satellites, preserving dark sites becomes crucial. Philosophies of deep ecology urge protecting the night for future generations. In Native American traditions like the Lakota, star knowledge includes planetary dances as part of the sacred hoop, symbolizing life's interconnected circles. This holistic view encourages sustainability, aligning human actions with cosmic rhythms. As global citizens, the February 2026 parade offers a moment of unity in divided times. Philosophers like Hannah Arendt might see it as a public space phenomenon where shared witnessing fosters discourse. Let's meditate once more. Inhale universal questions, exhale personal answers. Feel the parade's pull on your thoughts like gravity on worlds. Practically, cultural festivals around alignments, star parties, or virtual watch-alongs build community. Join one via the Astronomical Society of the Pacific for enriched experience. Myths persist. Alignments as harbingers of change, from Renaissance plagues to modern conspiracies. Philosophy debunks fear, promoting rational wonder. In this chapter, we've explored how parades weave into our cultural and philosophical fabric, adding layers to their scientific splendor. In the final chapter, we'll look ahead to future alignments and lasting legacies.
Chapter 7. Horizons Ahead. Future Alignments and Enduring Legacies. Welcome back, dear cosmic companions, to the 7th and final chapter of our tranquil trek through the realms of planetary parades. As we've traversed the introductions, mechanics, histories, observations, discoveries, and reflections that define these celestial gatherings, it's fitting to gaze forward to the alignments yet to come and the timeless legacies they leave in their wake. In this concluding chapter, we'll ponder what lies beyond February 2026, wrapping our journey with hopeful insights and a gentle farewell. Let your thoughts drift toward tomorrow's skies, embracing the eternal cycle of wonder. Relax into this closure, knowing the universe's story continues with you as its witness. Looking ahead, the solar system's dance promises more spectacles, each building on the rhythms we've come to appreciate. While the February 2026 parade stands out for its six-planet visibility, astronomers forecast even grander events in the decades following. For instance, in 2040, a rare seven-planet alignment, excluding only distant Pluto, now a dwarf, will grace the pre-dawn skies, spanning Mercury through Neptune in a tighter arc than we've seen in generations. This event, peaking around March, could offer naked-eye views of all major worlds, a testament to the slow, majestic shifts of outer giants like Uranus and Neptune, whose orbits span 84 and 165 years, respectively. Closer in time, 2032 brings a morning parade of 5 bright planets, ideal for early risers in the northern hemisphere. Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, and Saturn will cluster in the east before sunrise, echoing the 2000 alignment, but with Mars adding its reddish hue. These future parades aren't random. They're predicted using refined ephemerides from observatories worldwide, incorporating data from missions like the Parker Solar Probe, which studies solar influences on planetary paths. By understanding today's mechanics, we anticipate tomorrow's, a philosophical comfort in an unpredictable world.
Space exploration will amplify these events' significance. By 2030, NASA's Artemis program aims for sustained lunar presence where astronauts might view Earth-inclusive alignments from the Moon's surface, offering unprecedented perspectives. Imagine parades seen without atmospheric haze, planets crisp against the void. The Europa Clipper, arriving at Jupiter in 2030, could transmit live data during a Jovian alignment, revealing how gravitational tugs affect icy moons' oceans. Private ventures like SpaceX's Starship may enable civilian trips, turning parades into shared orbital experiences, democratizing the cosmos. Let's pause for our final meditation. Find a quiet moment, perhaps under the stars if possible. Inhale deeply, absorbing the legacy of past alignments. Hold the breath, feeling the present parade's anticipation. Exhale slowly, releasing into future wonders. Visualize 2026's chain as a link in an infinite necklace, each bead a moment of connection. This practice grounds us, blending nostalgia with excitement, reminding that legacies endure through observation and story. Scientifically, future alignments will probe deeper mysteries. As the James Webb Space Telescope's successors launch in the 2030s, parades will calibrate searches for exoplanet alignments, hunting for signs of life in synchronized systems. Climate models may link solar system configurations to long-term Earth patterns, though effects are subtle, perhaps influencing cosmic ray influx during grand alignments. The study of dark matter and energy could benefit.
Hypothetical influences on orbits during rare lineups might reveal unseen forces, testing theories beyond Einstein. Culturally, legacies evolve. Today's social media captures will become tomorrow's archives, like the 2000 parade's photos inspiring digital art. Festivals may arise, annual alignment days, blending science fairs with mindfulness retreats. Literature and film will continue drawing from them. Envision sequels to Contact, where alignments signal extraterrestrial messages. Philosophically, they challenge us to legacy build. How do we preserve dark skies for future generations amid growing light pollution and satellite constellations? In education, parades leave indelible marks. School programs using apps to simulate 2026 will spark careers in STEM, fostering curiosity in youth. Citizen science initiatives, like tracking magnitude changes during alignments, contribute to databases that outlast us, a collective legacy of knowledge.
Environmentally, these events underscore urgency. As climate shifts alter viewing conditions, more haze from wildfires, shifting weather patterns, parades remind us of Earth's fragility within the system. Legacies include advocacy. Organizations like the International Dark Sky Association push for preservation, ensuring future alignments remain visible. Personally, what legacy will February 2026 leave for you? Perhaps a renewed sense of scale, diminishing daily stresses against cosmic vastness, or family traditions, sharing binoculars with loved ones, creating memories that echo through years. Studies in awe psychology show such experiences boost empathy and well-being, legacies that ripple inward and outward. Globally, alignments foster unity. In a divided era, the 2026 parade, visible across continents, can bridge cultures as live streams connect viewers from New York to Nairobi. This shared sky legacy promotes peace, echoing Carl Sagan's pale blue dot philosophy. From afar, we're one. Challenges loom. Space debris might obscure views, or geopolitical tensions limit data sharing. Yet optimism prevails. International collaborations like the International Space Station demonstrate alignments in human endeavor. As technology advances, virtual reality recreations will allow experiencing past and future parades immersively, preserving legacies for those in light-polluted cities. Augmented reality glasses might overlay historical contexts during live views, blending eras. In reflection, planetary parades are more than events, they're mirrors. They reflect our progress from ancient omens to scientific forecasts and our potential, urging forward with hope. February 2026 isn't an end, but a chapter in your ongoing story with the stars.